Welcome to our kitchen, making mac and cheese with Santiago's Culinary Arts class today. Set your oven to 350 and get a big pot of water on the stovetop to boil. You're going to add about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil into the water. Get that set on high, and in a heavy-duty saucepan, add 2 tablespoons butter and 2 tablespoons all-purpose flour. We're going to whisk the butter and flour until the butter is melted and the flour cooks for about 4 minutes. So we're going to just whisk the butter and flour as it cooks, so that flour taste disappears and the butter flour mixture is going to be bubbly. In the meantime, I am going to use my leftover butter paper and I'm going to grease 2 8x8 square pans. You could also use a 9x13 pan or something comparable, whatever's in your cupboard. Don't walk away from the stovetop of your butter and flour. Make sure you watch it closely. You are making a roux. Here's a good close look at what it looks like as it starts to cook on the stovetop. I'm going to get my milk and chicken stock ready. So I'm pouring 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of stock. I actually used vegetable stock. Whatever you prefer, this is how you make it a vegetarian dish. And we're going to get our milk and stock heated up. I'm just using the microwave. Our butter flour mixture is looking good. You can really tell that the flour has cooked out when the bubbles get smaller and it looks like a consistent thin paste. Once that happens, that should be about 4 or 5 minutes. You're going to add the hot milk into your roux and add it a ½ cup at a time. So you're going to add a ½ cup of milk, and then you're going to use your whisk and whisk, 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 whisk. And it'll become pasty. Then you add the other ½ cup milk and do the same. This is what allows your sauce to be thick. Make sure there's no lumps, and then you add a ½ cup of your stock and another ½ cup of your stock to finish that off. And just make sure there are no lumps as you whisk your liquids into your paste. Next, we want to add our cheese. So you're going to want to make sure you have about 4 cups of your favorite cheese grated and ready to go. My favorite is sharp white cheddar. I also like to use Gouda. Those are probably my two favorite mac and cheese cheeses. Oh, I also add about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard into the saucepan. So you can use pre-grated cheese here. I just used what I found at Stater Brothers, and add a cup at a time. Make sure your saucepan is over like low to medium heat at this point, probably like a 3 or 4. As you add in 2 cups of cheddar cheese, and then 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. The Parmesan has a lot of salt in it already. It gives it that salty taste, so I wouldn't add a lot of salt here. Instead, I would add white pepper. White pepper is preferable. You can use black pepper as well. The white pepper is a little lighter in flavor, not as spicy. So this is what our cheese sauce looks like. Really, you could add any flavors that you like in here, like truffle flavor, ancho chili, cumin. You can go Mexican flavors. So my water is boiling and I'm adding my salt in right before my pasta goes in. And I'm stirring my elbow macaroni noodles so they don't stick to the pan. In a small bowl or measuring cup, you're going to want to melt about a tablespoon or so of butter and add in about a half cup of panko breadcrumbs. And just stir it around. You just want to make sure the breadcrumbs are covered in the butter. So test your macaroni noodle, and if it has a little bit of a bite to your tooth, then it's ready to go. The colander got away from me here a little bit, but as soon as your macaroni is ready, get it out of the pan into your colander and rinse it off. I then put it in a big bowl where I'm going to mix in that delicious cheese sauce. Oh my gosh, this is like the best part. Get all your cheese and your macaroni noodles together and just give it a toss. It should be pretty wet, moist. There should be a lot of sauce. Then what we're going to do is we're going to layer it in our pans. 2 8x8s is a little more space than one 9x13, but I wanted to try what it was like to freeze the mac and cheese so I would have it ready to go. What you're going to do is put a layer of that macaroni and cheese on the bottom, and then a layer of cheddar cheese, then more macaroni, working it all the way into the corners, and more cheese. You can double up this recipe if you want and really make a thick batch of mac and cheese for the holidays or your birthday or just any day. Nobody's going to be mad at mac and cheese. once you have all of your macaroni and cheese layers into your pan, you're going to take those breadcrumbs and you're just going to sprinkle those evenly on top. Those are going to get nice and crunchy on top. If you didn't have panko breadcrumbs, you could use regular breadcrumbs. You could even use Lay's potato chips. That would be delicious. And after being in the oven for about a half an hour, and then set on broil for about 2 minutes, this is what it looks like. Nice and bubbly on top and delicious. Join us at colemanskitchen.weebly.com for these recipes and more.